Hi and welcome to episode 7 of Pat's Procrastination, brought to you by the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel. Please do not forget to subscribe. So it is the day after National Tight Ends Day, and for everyone that wished me a happy National Tight Ends Day, thank you very much. I had a great day. I hope you did too, and I hope that you caught my National Tight Ends Day celebration show right here on the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel. And if you didn't, then maybe you should go and indulge with your coffee, tea and the beverage. But this is the recap wrap-up game show with myself, Clazzy Clare, and with himself, Chudders. So, Chudders, how are things with you after the, spoiler alert, win that I predicted against the Buffalo Bills?
Good morning, Claire. What a victory. And I think you were possibly the only person in the entire universe who managed to predict a Patriots win, albeit with your tongue-in-cheek as you did it. And I like to see the Patriots.com social media team even posted out a picture of every single pundit in America predicting a Bills win. Yeah. With the tagline, "You sure about that?" So yeah, no, it was a very unexpected victory, but it was a good victory. Did you enjoy the game?
Sort of. It was very nerve-wracking. The fourth quarter I did not enjoy so much because I was literally just nervous, and the last 5 minutes, very nervous. Actually, I think when the score was 10-16, I think that might have still actually been in the second half. I was like, you know what? I'm ready. Let's just cut this short and we'll just move along from here. Because yeah, I was ready for the 16-10 victory, to be honest with you. And my nerves, I'm glad that it was a 1 o'clock start game or 6 o'clock for us. I don't know how well I would have coped with that if it had been like a midnight game and stuff, being on edge so much at such a time of night. But yes, the last 5 minutes, I think I spent sitting on the very edge of the sofa with my hands on my head, just like, oh my God. So yeah, it was kind of enjoyable and not at the same time. How about yourself?
I thought it was good. It was a lot better. I think I'll try and save any caution until later in the episode. So let's start with a bit of giddiness, shall we? Get all of
it's
tight endage.
Exactly.
You must be thrilled on your National Tight Endage Day with your wonderful podcast you dropped in the morning. You must be thrilled with what you saw, and who was the hero of the hour? But
Mike Gesicki. It was fab. I admitted on Twitter that I screamed, and legitimately, the GIF that I used on Twitter to describe my reaction was pretty darn close to the literal reaction. Yes, it was loud. So another reason why I was glad that it was like a reasonable time game and not a sort of 1 o'clock in the morning situation that neighbours may hear a woman screaming from the house kind of situation. So yeah, that was also a plus. But yeah, it was sort of what we've kind of been waiting for. Now I know that there's loads of people that are going to be sitting there saying, as you actually said just a moment ago, let's reserve the giddiness because it was one game and this and the other. But I'm sorry, screw it. It's like, just celebrate this. You want to talk tight ends, but I want to talk O-line, because the O-line actually worked, and I was like, oh look, this is what happens when an O-line works. See how successful you can be. But yeah, Gesicki getting the touchdown was very, very exciting for me. A Gesicki major fan. I think it was quite exciting for him too, because it was like his first as a Patriot. Not to kind of put behind what the other two tight ends did, because Hunter Henry was, he still had a reasonable game, and Farrell Brown, he's like really emerging as a positiveness for the tight endage room. So 3 tight ends for me it's the way to go. Look, it's just, how can you deny it's the way to go, really?
No, I agree. I thought Farrell Brown had a really good game, and Hunter Henry had a couple of key catches during the game as well to keep going. Keeps in the game at the end there. I bow to the altar of tight ends yesterday. They stood up to their national day and performed very well. But I'll agree with you as well. The O-line looked functional. I'm not going to say exceptional, but they looked functional.
No.
Kicking and when you to tackle, I think really worked. I think they've got something to build on. The whole game, offensive game, looked a lot more positive. They looked a lot more confident, should I say.
Yeah.
That's because genuinely Mac feels more confident now behind that set with Onwenu at tackle. He felt when Riley Reef was out there, maybe so. He was stepping into his throws. He was allowing the pressure to almost come past him, so he could find the gaps, find the space, find the pocket. And when under pressure, he was still looking to make an escape throw or to use his legs a little bit. It looked a lot better. To me, one thing I noted down was this looked like the big almost reset button that talked about sort of 2 weeks ago when they said, right, this is what we need to do. We need to reset, go back to the beginning. This looks like what that should look like. Last week didn't. Last week looked like
no.
This week looked different. It was much better. But you're right, picking out the O-line, giving them some flowers. They played well.
The one thing with Mac that I know that you're still not sort of obviously convinced on Mac Jones, and one game isn't going to make it, and I fully appreciate that, but it just puts that little bit of a win in my column because I am still a bit of a Mac girl at heart, really. The one thing that I did really enjoy about it from that aspect is, like you said, he seemed to have more confidence, he seemed calmer, he seemed to play much better. And there was one play, and unfortunately I haven't noted it down when it was. I think it was a bit later in the game, and that's all I can remember. He was under pressure. I think it was probably when he was sacked, but the one thing that he did was he didn't make that wild throw that was probably going to be an interception, and he contained the ball, you know, as in ball security. Now, I know taking a sack isn't great, and it's like, well, no, but the one thing that did was keep it secure. And I think that was important to see that him do that rather than him panic and throw wildly sort of thing. So it looks like he has redeemed his coolness in a way as well, as in, not cool as in he's a cool guy. I mean, as in temperature-wise.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I think there was one pass I want to say Poyer should have caught, but I might be wrong.
Yeah.
It wasn't 100% clean, but it was a lot better.
No.
I'll also say I thought I didn't like the play calling on the penultimate drive the Patriots had. It was something like 5 minutes to go in the game. The Patriots were winning at that stage, and they went 3 pass plays in a row, none of which worked, and they essentially then they then fumbled the ball away. Kendrick Bourne, in fact, fumbled the ball away, which looked like it was going to be ridiculously costly at the time, with the Bills going down to score a touchdown. But I was looking at, okay, you've got 5 minutes left. Why are we not just running the ball, which had been effective all day? So I'm not even just saying run it into the line 3 times and punt. Why are we not running the ball for security, eating up all the clock, or making the Bills use their timeouts, and playing that way? But you haven't looked like a team through into the 7th week that has been confident enough to be throwing the ball. I don't know, say Mahomes, for example. Yeah, you trust him to throw it around, make short passes, eat up clock that way, doesn't have to run. So I felt like Mac was almost being put in some situations that weren't the best for his abilities, let's say, at that moment.
I think I know where you mean that it all fell apart. And the crazy thing was the catalyst was a penalty against Lowe. And then it was like, oh no, I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but he's not an O-lineman. He shouldn't be in there. It seemed to be that he got a penalty, and then everything really seemed to crumble because it fell apart with Poyer punching the ball out from Bourne and this, that, and the other. And then it wasn't great. The one thing that I was very annoyed with, I was so angry, was the Bills did not call a timeout. That was really poor officiating. I'm not saying that would win or lose a game. No, I've said this before. I think I said it a couple of games ago when there was some really bad officiating, and I wasn't trying to say that if it was better, the Patriots would have won, because that's not what it is. But it's like that. It felt to me the last 5 minutes of the game was when I was the most nervous, because, like you said, it started to fall apart a little bit, and then the Bills started to have calls that were like, those are BS calls. So now the officials seem to me like they want to make sure that the Bills win this game. So yeah, it was with the 2 minutes to go, they waited for Allen to get in when he did the QB sneak. They waited to make sure he got over the line. They gave him the time. If he needed to crawl over the line, they were giving him time to crawl over the line to make it 22-25. So yeah, I do have a bug up my butt about that, to be honest with you, quite frankly.
I'll agree with you. Okay.
I'm sorry, I have one more. And Epinesa roughing the passer. He threw Mac to the ground well after the play and nothing happened. And that's another time that people are manhandling my quarterback, and I'm not happy about it. Apologies. You may
send you like a Rottweiler to bark at the league, the officials, and the opposition. I think. I would agree with you that the Zebras were inconsistent and too involved in the game. I agree that I think there were some calls that went the Patriots' way as well as the Bills' way, though. I think there were some calls that I think both teams are going to, or both fan bases are
I
going
want
to be,
evidence now.
are going to be frustrated with some of the calls in that game. I don't think it would be fair to say that the Bills hold up the green there. But they were involved. One thing I did want to do, though, was to give some flowers to the Patriots offense, because the one thing I'd been moaning about all season to this point was that they can't start games and they can't finish games. And in this, they did both.
They did both.
And I think I sent you a message after about inside the first quarter that is today opposites day, because put on their drive, they then had a takeaway interception with the first play of Bill's offense, and it looked like this is the same game we've watched every week to now, except the Patriots are in the wrong jerseys. It was wonderful to see that for a week it was now going back our way. It was great to see. Any more good points on the offense that you wanna highlight?
Does it have to be non-tight endage? Can it be tight endage?
Any?
Well, there was a few positives. Like we said, the O-line was positive. The Bourne was a positive, obviously. Douglas, he's quick, man. Douglas is quick. They really need to make sure that they keep him involved. I noted down a very good Gesicki block. I'm just trying to find it, just to make sure that I could throw it at you, and I'm just trying to find it in my notes, because he threw someone out of the club and I thought it was great, because I just wanted to make a point that he's not an amazing blocker, he's maybe not a consistent blocker, but he is doing his best, and I can't find it, so we need to move on. I've got it noted down somewhere. I could have sworn that I starred it, because it was like, you need to throw this at Chudders really bad. First quarter, about 9.5 minutes in, he pushed the guy out of bounds. I didn't even note down who he pushed out of bounds, but he pushed him out of bounds anyway. So, yes, go back and look. He can block. Thank you. Okay, now you can carry on.
What I was going to say while you're looking at my stats is, as you know, the millions of weekly views that we have will know, last week I did put in my homework and have a look at the blocking grades for Gesicki. I did do that about an hour after the show last week and sent them to Claire. I'm not sure if she wants me to repeat them on air, though, because I think for his pass blocking grade, he ranked as 48th best tight end in the league.
Yeah, okay.
And for run blocking, he was graded, I think it was about 96 or something, or might have been lower than that, 100 and something in the league. So,
in his defense, I did ask, who was it? Oh, Taylor Kyles, about the statistics, if they're noted. And it isn't, I can't think how we put it now. But the after the snap blocks, if it's after the line, then there's only so much that's taken into consideration from after the play snap or something like that. I should go back on Twitter and check it and put it out. But yes, I wasn't disputing that he wasn't a great blocker. I was disputing that one bad block shouldn't define everything, and that he has also successful blocks. That was what I was saying. Are you really going to ruin it and do this now? We're having such a good show. So you want to just bring it back to throwing shade on Gesicki's blocking? Carry on then.
I was just following up, completing my homework from last week. That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
The amount of letters and emails and carrier pigeons I would have received if I hadn't done my homework.
The thing is, you set yourself the homework. Nobody else set you the homework. So this is the point. Don't come all this crying like I had homework to do and all this. You did it yourself. I didn't. I already looked at PFF myself. So anyway.
So one other incredibly nitpicky negative I had.
You nitpicking? I'm so shocked.
The first play of Patriots offense was a pass to Mario Douglas. Caught behind him. But he caught it, he ran, and then he gave himself up after 9 yards.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Rather than continuing on to see how far he could get, or at least giving himself up after he got the 10 yards if he had caution about a safety that was about to take his head off or something. It was good to see the catch and run, but then I was like, what the hell are you doing? And then I watched that almost as a theme throughout the game. One thing that impressed me about the Bills was the way that they finished plays.
Mm-hmm.
They would avoid, and you can almost say this is also a negative against our defense, but the Bills would often and really frequently make the first tackle miss. Or when they are hit by contact, they're making sure they're falling forward. So they're not stopped at 8 yards. They're getting that extra 2 as they're falling forward and getting those extra yards. On nearly every single play, the way they were finishing was so much cleaner, so much better than the Patriots who were giving themselves up or hitting contact and going backwards or whatever. That was just one thing I noted as I was watching. I know that Troy Brown, the receivers coach, has come in for a bit of criticism this year for the route running that the Patriots have been doing, particularly when they know the ball isn't coming their way. So that was just one nitpick that I did have. Go on.
No, I was just going to say perhaps it's something, now they've hit the reset button, perhaps that's something that they can work and develop on. So maybe in 2 weeks we might not be seeing as much of it or something like that.
That would be brilliant. Again, one other slight frustration. They had 3 attempts, 2-point conversion, and couldn't get it in.
They gave the ball to the wrong person, that's why.
Quite possibly right. That's frustrating when you're trying to kill a game or you're trying to put yourself in a comfortable position in the game. That was a little bit of a frustration. So anything more you wanted to say about the offense, I guess?
About the offense. It was just good to see an offense. To be honest, it was just good to see, in a way, what I thought they were capable of doing. I think I've said this for a few weeks. When it kind of first all went pear-shaped, I said that it didn't feel like the team that I knew that we were watching. And now, at least this game made it look like the team that we sort of know we were watching, if you see what I mean.
I hope so. I hope this is the rule and not the anomaly. But guess we'll find
out sure.
As the season goes on, really.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to see. I hope that they build on this. We'll get to our prediction for next week, and then they've got possibly 2 even winnable games after that. They've got
it's Monday morning. Apologies. It's Monday morning. It's like 9 a.m. UK time, and I've got to predict for next Sunday. Really? I haven't had enough sleep / coffee / everything.
9:20 to think about that then. So, friend, I thought it was good. It was bend don't break was the way I framed it. They had a great start, obviously taking the interception on the first play. They look buoyed. Hopefully as well, they're going to play with a bit more confidence. Well, not that they were playing without confidence, but they can play with more confidence in the offense. If the offense is going to perform, put drives together, which not only will hopefully be resulting in points, but also will be resulting in rest time for the defense. They're not just going 3 and out and, oh, God, come on, guys, we've only been off the field for 4 minutes here. Now we've got to go back out and try and keep you in the game. Hopefully that confidence will grow. As I mentioned a minute ago, there was quite a lot of first tackles that were broken or first tackles that were missed. There was Diggs's touchdown where he caught the ball on the floor about 8 yards out and was able to get up, turn, miss 2 tackles, and then get in the end. That was not a good look for the safety of that coverage on that one. But generally, I thought it was good. They kept us in the game there.
I've just found one of my notes. Sorry, cool. Sorry.
Now go on. What's your note say?
I just found a note in the second quarter. Barmore is chasing Allen, and then like a really big smiley face. I obviously really enjoyed that. Yeah, he had quite a good game actually. I have to say, I will admit to it that I was shouting for Allen to be sacked, squash him like a bug, etc. Because as most people know who listen to my show,
lies for it in the third quarter.
No, this is true, but I don't like the Bills, as a lot of our listeners, viewers, whatever may know. I really don't like the Bills, and I was calling for his head, and squash him like a bug was chanted. So I've got a little, sorry, I just made myself laugh with a little smiley face at Barmore chasing Allen, because the other thing is it's quite comical because Barmore's a big chap, so for him to chase him down as well, I just enjoyed that. I do enjoy those sorts of things.
Fair enough. Anything else in defense?
Yes, I have an issue with Jack Jones. He's so inconsistent. He just he's a bit like a puppy, because he like gets really enthusiastic and really excited, and then something happens, like a penalty call or something. So they need to, I don't want to say control, because that really sounds wrong, but they just need something. It's almost like he needs a bit of maturity, and I know obviously that goes, and I don't mean off field. I know he's had off field issues. I feel that his on field presence, whilst he's quite a capable player and he's got some sort of dynamic in him, it feels like he just cannot control it properly and be disciplined in the role. And I think that if they could find that balance with him, he could be a really good player. And it's just that edge, it takes that edge off, because as soon as things are being undone in regards to that because of penalties, then you start looking unfavourably on a player of, you keep wiping out the positiveness, so we need you to kind of rein it in. So I don't want to throw shade on him, because I know he had a reasonable game as well, but he's too inconsistent. There's too many highs and lows. He needs to balance himself out.
I think that's fair. The option I have is I think that's just his style of play, and it's similar with C. Jackson, that nearly every play, what they're thinking is, how can I intercept this ball? If this ball's coming, how can I intercept it? They're not thinking, how can I have good coverage? And this is more the I think that Gonzalez plays. How can I have good coverage just to make sure throwing my way? My man's not open. If they throw it my way, then I'm going to see if I can break it up or catch it. But I'm just going to have tight coverage so you can't throw my way. JC Jackson and Jack Jones, I think, play more of the, right, I'm going to keep one eye always on the ball, because I'm going to snag it if it's coming my way. If that's not happening, then it's, okay, how can I eliminate my receiver I'm against, whether that is holding penalties, and a lot of times you won't get away with it, particularly when the ball is nowhere near that area of the field. But it is that more, I guess, explosive way of playing cornerback. And I think that's kind of his style. You're right. If he could mature into it, then maybe he could play a bit better.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking it as a skill set. It's as if it needs refining. I fully appreciate what you're saying, and with JC Jackson. But maybe if you use JC Jackson as an example, he's a bit more refined. He seems a bit less inconsistent on the field. So it just feels like they may have a good player in Jack Jones, but he just needs that the rough edges taken off, and then I think that he wouldn't be hitting people's bad lists as well as their good lists, perhaps, and that sort of thing. Not that obviously he cares, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's fair. Anything more on defense?
No, I'm good.
It's fair. Special teams, they again frustrated me with a false start penalty. However, that said, as a day, I thought the special teams did very well. Got all their punting from Barringer was brilliant. Oh, yeah, go on. She's got a point.
One thing that I was concerned about, there was a bad snap, and I'm worried about Joe Cardona. I'm very worried.
I don't think I need to worry about it next year.
See, that makes me really sad as well. Can we not make me sad today? Can you not do your utmost to make me sad today? But yeah, I have to say,
the snaps all year have not been good. I can't even say inconsistent. They've not been good.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried. It was only one, so you give people benefit of the doubt.
Pins up. The Pats could be drafting top 10 still. They could get whatever. Bill will be wrangling his hands about that. Some D.
That will just set Patriots Nation's hair on fire if he drafts a long snapper in like the second round or something.
In any round.
I'm sorry, in any round. Well, I meant high up, but
long snapper in any round overdrafted there. They could pick that up and.
I was pleased with Barringer and stuff. He's amazing punts and things today. So yesterday, sorry, he did well. I like me a bit of Barringer.
Direction, I thought he did brilliant, and the coverage as well. Because when I mentioned where they had a false start penalty, he still smashed the ball. I think it was like 61 yards, I want to say, and the coverage was there on the spot, and they still managed to pin them down about the 11-yard line, I think it was. The punting was very good, and they only punted twice as well. It's not even like it's one of those days where he got a workout because we were punting 5, 6, 7 times. He had very little to do, but what he did very well. Okay.
I could have done with like making a cup of tea in the last 5 minutes and then walking back into the room for the touchdown. To finish with you, it was that nerve-wracking, but yeah,
it was, and but they did it. It's good to see, and like I said, I hope this becomes the standard, not the exception.
Yeah.
And we shall see. We'll get onto our predictions. So next week is going to be tough again, but they've got something to build on. They've got some confidence to build on. And I agree with what you're saying. We need more Douglas. We need the young players playing still. Because the reason is, as nice as that was to win today, we still don't look like a playoff team. We still don't look like a team that's going to be in the playoffs. So we still need to be doing sort of talent evaluation mode of playing the youngsters, getting their mistakes out of the way now, so that next season we can be in those positions.
Yeah, but it was only game 7, so there's still plenty of time for that, and there's still plenty of time to build. So, 11. What is it? 11 and 6 is still in play.
But 12 and 5 is still in play.
Well, yeah, but I'm not being, completely crazy.
You're sandwich bet, aren't you? Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's But I think, as they said on the post game show, 2 and 15 is still very much in play as well.
Oh, come on! You could have left that for another week. This is like celebrating the win. Just.
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll do middle, won't it? So less about that game, but on the weekend as a whole. First of all,
no, we need to hurry up.
So go on, what did you say?
No, we considerably need to hurry up. I just looked at the time.
Right, okay. The Hall of Fame ceremony I thought was brilliant for Skarnek and Vrabel. Really enjoyed it. They're funny guys. The panels they had with some of the ex-players as well, that was really good. If you haven't seen that, go back and watch it. It's on YouTube and any other platform that you like to consume your media.
Patriots.com is your first protocol, I would imagine.
Patriots.com. It was brilliant. Very good. The other very big news, albeit slightly unofficial, but highly, highly likely to be official. Bill signed an extended contract over the summer, thus making it far more likely that he will be the head coach next year and going forward. I also argue, because I said this a couple of weeks ago, more likely Mac will be your quarterback next year going forward, because I think Bill will be more likely to stick with his draft pick from a couple of years ago. And particularly if he turns in more performances like today, he'll think he's serviceable enough to remain as the quarterback. I wanted to ask if you had any thoughts on that, positive or negative, or you kind of doesn't change your view of the season or the off season or the general picture.
To be honest, right now, no, it doesn't. I mean, it's cool that they want to maintain him and it might shut a few people up for now, that sort of thing. But to be honest with you, I hate to really sound very Bill Belichick, but we're just focusing on our games right now. Because that really genuinely is what it is. I'm not looking at the future too much. I mean, when I did the tight end episode, people were asking me about sort of for next year, you know, who are you looking in the draft, that kind of thing. And it's just like, for me, it's too early. I'm focused on what we're doing now, on to Miami.
Fair enough.
About you? Do we have time for your answer?
As I can. It frustrated me because I was hoping for a change, and today was more positive. But you look at the whole body of work, and I don't just mean 7 games now. I mean 7 months that essentially has been the season in terms of roster building and everything else. And it doesn't all go out the window because of one defeat of a Bills team that, again, I don't think Bills play very well, which helped you win. So I think it is setting up the future more likely. I think you sent me one of these polls, or maybe I sent it to you, to be fair, of people voting. You know, do you think it'll be the same head coach, same quarterback, same head coach, different quarterback, same quarterback, different coach? Neither are there. I think this probably makes it 75% likely it's going to be the same head coach and same quarterback next year. In my mind now, something like that. Okay, then let's steam ahead and see what else we can do then. I think it was not the best news, but they followed it up with a victory that makes you feel more positive about that news. Had they gone and got their door blown off, then quite possibly I'd be sat here fuming that now we're stuck with these two and they've been ridiculous all season. Whereas, okay, we got that news and at least you turned in a performance to support it. So we'll move. Bill got to the 300 club now, got his 300th victory. I was mildly amused by the way he conducted his press conference when he was asked about that, and he tried to dismiss it, but couldn't quite. He still had to stop and thank very much everyone for asking their nice questions about it, as if to praise them, and like taking his flowers there. But it is a great achievement. Tight ends, I think we've covered that then at the top.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Day.
Yeah. We need to move on to Miami, like time-wise.
Underrated player of the day. This week, sponsored by... Oh, she's ready. Pen's gone down. This week, it's sponsored by Silence of the Lambs. Because if you want a suspense thriller with Buffalo Bill being put away at the end, then this is the one for you. You've not watched Silence of the Lambs, have you? You're not getting that reference about Buffalo Bill. Okay, hopefully someone else will. Douglas, I'm going to give it to. I thought he looked electric. Great hands. His catching radius, he was picky and everything. He was making people miss, juking. He looks, as you said at the top of the show, and a good punt return as well. Yeah. So he's winning it for me. Are you happy with that decision this week?
Yeah, I'm glad that it's an offensive guy for a change. I'm glad that we could have an offensive guy too.
Once we have a decent offensive performance, an offense performance rather than an offensive performance,
Yeah.
then that's how it would happen. So wins bet. So as you've already alluded to, you still think the 11 wins are in play now. That Giusepp's got his touchdown, so he's only one behind now, I think, in the standings to potentially win
possibly
most touchdowns by a receiver for the Patriots on the season.
Yeah, I do still have a chance on that. It's looking highly unlikely, but I do still have a chance. I may win a sandwich yet.
We still not scored enough passing touchdowns to you be worrying that you're not going to win that yet. Patriots to finish 4th in the division, they still are, but that's a win that takes in the direction.
They have the winning record, though.
Over 2 of those teams that are the 2 that are likely to be ahead of you. In fact,
yeah, but they're 2-1. They're the only 2-1 in the division. So right now, I could say that feels like more of a sandwich for me than you. But anyway, we'll move on because we're on to Miami. But yes, the Miami game is on Sunday, October 29th.
So before we get to the game, one last thing. We've got our Claire tracker. So last week you gave us an 8 out of 10 on
9 now.
Thanking. So we're up to 9. It's gone more. Excellent.
Yeah, we're at 9. Well, it's Monday morning, coming off a win, coming off a Gesicki touchdown. So excellent. Yeah, plenty of tight ended going on.
Yeah, on Dolphins away, 1 o'clock kick Eastern time, 6 o'clock if you are in the UK. They're coming off the back of a 31-17 loss to the Eagles last night. What's your prediction, Claire?
Patriots squeak out a win.
Touchdown or field goal?
No, less than a touchdown.
Okay.
Maybe even less than a field goal. I think it's going to be a squeaked out win.
So I'll give you field goal then. I'll give you the field goal win. Okay.
Because I won last week's because you said that the Bills were going to win and I said the Patriots were going to win.
You did. You didn't. What you were saying at the time, but you did say it on a microphone. So therefore,
it was my prediction. It was my prediction. So there you
go. I think you're going to face a Dolphins team that has been night and day when they're playing home and away, and sadly, you're playing them a place, and they're going to be fired up, having just lost.
No, they're going to be demoralised.
I sadly don't think so. But hopefully, Patriots are going to play with more confidence and hopefully able to move the ball. I'm not saying they're going to be a lightning attack, anything like the Dolphins are going to be, but hopefully they can move the ball and get some points. I'm predicting the Patriots score 24 points. However, I think the Dolphins are going to score 32 and you're going to lose.
Wow, 24-32. Okay. Well, we shall see next week. So, is that it? Can I wrap it up?
Wrap it up. Put a bow on it.
This is it. Well, that is it for another episode of Pat's Procrastination, brought to you by the Pat's Propaganda YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe. Also, do not forget to check out the special episode of the National Tight Ends Day from yesterday with myself. So I hope you enjoy that. And also, don't forget to go over to the Pat's Propaganda prop shop. Well, you can still get hold of your exclusive tight-ended design t-shirts. There is a tight-ended one and there is the I like tight ends and I cannot lie. So please do go over there. There's other swag as well. So, go over, treat yourself. That is it from him and from me. So tune in next time and go Pats.
LFG.